Welcome back to another episode of the Unchurching, where we decode the hidden layers of spirituality and question the stories we've been taught to fear. Today, we're going to dig into one of the most misunderstood characters in all of religious history, the devil. That red figure with horns, a tail and a pitchfork, and you know the one, but where did that image actually come from? And what if I told you that evil itself is not what you think it is? By the end of this video, we'll not only reveal the surprising origins of the devil's image, but also explore the deeper esoteric truth about good and evil, far beyond the childish fear tactics we've been fed. Let's start with this. The Bible doesn't describe the devil as a red demon with horns and a pitchfork. In the Old Testament, the figure we now call Satan was originally a title, not a proper name. In Hebrew, Satan means the accuser or the adversary. He was more like a prosecuting attorney in God's divine court, testing, challenging, exposing. Think of the story of Job, where Satan is a divine agent permitted to test Job's faithfulness. There was no mention of a fiery underground kingdom, horns, or a red tail. Those details came much later. When Christianity began spreading in the Roman Empire, it encountered existing mythologies. Greek and Roman gods like Pan, the mischievous forest deity, had horns, goat legs, and a playful, sometimes dark, energy. As Christianity sought to stamp out pagan traditions, it demonized these nature gods. Pan's horns and goat features were gradually fused into the image of the devil to frighten converts away from old beliefs. This wasn't just spiritual. It was a deliberate marketing move by early church leaders to consolidate religious power and delegitimize rival deities. And the pitchfork, that originates from the Greek god Hades, ruler of the underworld, who was often depicted with a two-pronged scepter called a bident. Over time, artists and writers reimagined this as a trident or pitchfork, evolving into the cartoonish devil weapon we see today. By the medieval period, artists had solidified this visual: red skin, horns from Pan, the pitchfork from Hades, and bat wings from various demonic folklore traditions. This iconography had one main purpose: to terrify. The devil became a brand, a mascot for fear-based obedience. During the Middle Ages, Europe was plunged into fear and superstition. The church doubled down on demonic imagery to control the masses. If people were terrified of being seduced by a horned demon or tortured in a fiery hell, they would pay indulgences, obey the priesthood and avoid questioning authority. Art and theatre spread these images even further. Morality plays depicted devils in red suits with pitchforks dragging souls to hell, a powerful tool for mass control. Remember, fear sells, and the devil became the ultimate marketing strategy. Now let's step beyond this fear-based narrative and explore the esoteric meaning of evil and the devil. Esoterically, the devil isn't a literal being out to get you. It's a symbol representing your lower nature, your ego attachments, your unintegrated shadow self. The adversary is the part of you that resists growth, the inner voice that says, stay small, stay safe, avoid the truth. In this view, Satan is not your enemy. He's the gatekeeper of transformation. He tests you to help you evolve. All spiritual growth requires facing your shadow. The devil, in esoteric terms, is the necessary mirror showing you where you're still enslaved by fear, greed, lust, or pride. You can't integrate your light without seeing your darkness. Carl Jung famously said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." The so-called devil is that darkness, and he is part of you, not an external monster with a pitchfork hiding under your bed. Esoteric traditions like Hermeticism and Gnosticism teach that good and evil are not eternal enemies, but necessary polarities in this dimension. They are the yin and yang, two forces dancing together to create growth, movement, and evolution. In this sense, evil isn't an outside force to be defeated, it's an experience to be transcended and integrated. When you demonize your own shadow, you fragment yourself and stay in fear. But when you embrace and transmute it, you step into wholeness and spiritual sovereignty. In some esoteric teachings, the devil represents the fallen self, the part of you that forgets its divine origin. When you live only through ego, material desire, and fear, you fall from your higher consciousness. The so-called devil is that unconscious state. but it's also the catalyst that pushes you to remember, to rise, to return to the divine within. So instead of fearing the devil, you can see him as a teacher, the harsh guru showing you where you are still chained. This perspective shifts everything. No longer can you blame an outside demon for your choices. You become responsible for your growth, your healing, and your liberation. True spiritual power is reclaimed when you realize that heaven and hell, God and devil, are states of consciousness, not distant realms or creatures. You are the alchemist. You hold the power to transmute your inner darkness into light. When you integrate your shadow, your inner devil, you embody your higher self more fully. You become whole, authentic, and unstoppable. This is why all true mystical paths teach that your deepest fears hold the keys to your greatest freedom. You're not here to fight a literal devil. You're here to master yourself and ascend beyond duality. So, family, the next time you see that red-horned devil with a pitchfork, remember that image was crafted to keep you small and scared. The real work is not battling demons outside you, but facing and integrating the shadows within. Drop a comment if you're ready to alchemize your fear into power, like subscribe, and share this with someone who's ready to break free from fear-based religion and embody true spiritual sovereignty. Remember, you were never meant to obey. You were meant to awaken. See you next time on the Unchurching.